Hey, so what I was thinking is everything has a body, and to animate that body, it needs a spirit. And so everything has a spirit and a body. But where does the soul come in? Your soul, and this is just what I think, or this is what I'm, the level that I'm on, and maybe later on it will change, or I learn something new, but you know, so everything has a spirit and a body housing it. If you lose your spirit, then pretty much you die. Spirit is the thing that animates your body. It gives you sight and touch, feel, and it makes your chest move up and down when you're breathing. It makes your mouth move when you're talking. Now, where does the soul come in? And this is how I think of it, because this is just something, this is not teaching you nothing, but this is a concept that how I learned it. Maybe I'm way off, but bear with me. Now, your soul is something that not everything with the spirit and the body has. Now, why is that? And I was thinking, like, why does it, why birds and stuff, they might have a spirit and a body, because the spirit is animating the bird to fly or to take, flight, or get scared, whatever, and run away, or just to trust you and be there, whatever. But what's the soul? Now, a soul is something that's on a level, of spirituality. I don't think birds and animals or dogs have spirituality to them, but they have a spirit. But a soul animates that spirit. Now, if you say, oh, some people are walking around and they don't have souls, and I'm like, how could that be? But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, just to do some improvisation with it. Well, maybe a soul, it's a plus. It's something that you attain, you have as a child, and then through learning, you might lose your soul. How do you lose your soul? Some people sell their souls. And, I'm not familiar with how you do that. I don't even want to know, And then some people, are born in a way to where they don't have souls. I don't know about that. I think that every man or woman on this earth has a chance to have their soul. Now, the soul, maybe we have an attachment to God through our spirit, and that attachment to God is animating us. If God wants us to die, we'll die. Boom. And so it's animated, and it's from God. God made everything. The birds and the bees, they all have spirits. and he animates those things uh, every day. The instinct he put in them animates them every day. And man, we have instincts. Man and woman, we have instincts, and our instincts are not animated by God. Our instincts are animated by the soul he gave us. So our spirit may be animated by the soul he gave us. And so he gave us the spirit and the soul. And the soul is what separates each individual, and the spirit is what collectively makes us all the same. Now, it's a plus. I'm not saying that negative and positive, if you're in positive, you're good, and if you're negative, you're bad. No, there's a balance, and everything has to balance itself. And so you need a plus and a negative. But I would say that having a soul is like starting off at 100, and then things or ways that you think and things that you do, you start subtracting from that 100. You start losing, or you maintain your 100%, or not percent, because you can gain more through your soul. Your soul is the thing that separates you from everybody else, because your spirit, everything has a spirit, and you can become one with everything spiritually, but you can't connect your soul with everything. It's your soul. Your soul is going to be the soul that is up there on the stand when you die, like they say. When you die, way out, I guess in ancient Egypt, Mayat, she would weigh your soul on a feather, or if you're Christian, you might say that you're going to be judged. Your soul is the thing that gets judged, not your spirit, right? And so things that you do through your life, you can lose part of your soul. You can be in situations where your soul was, you cowered up or something, and you said, I'm gonna sell my soul. And like I said, I don't know how that works, but I've heard of people selling their souls. And so now you're walking around and you have no soul. Your spirit is still in you because you're still alive, but you have no soul because you sold 100% of it. Or maybe the percentage you sold was 30% of it, but you could have gained it back by doing better or changing yourself and acting like a man or a woman with a soul. But instead, some people, they lose track of themselves, and they don't see themselves as part of this whole grand scheme of everything. They separate themselves from everything. And during that process, you're losing part of your soul each time. It went from 100, now it's going to 99, 98, 97, so on and so on. Because you didn't look inside yourself and understand that when you're talking, when you're communicating, when you're listening, that your soul is talking to you, and it will tell you it's bullshit. Simply. Or it'll tell you, wait a little while and see how that person is acting, and soon, it could be a relationship. And you've lost yourself. You didn't lose your spirit, because you're still animated, you're still alive, you can still laugh and cry, but you lost yourself, or you lost your soul, because you didn't bent over backwards for somebody, or, whatever people do, to lose their soul, or they slowly but surely somebody can pick away at your soul, and after a while you look at yourself and you don't see yourself in the light that you should. Why? It's because some people, there's a lot of things that are put in this world for us to lose our soul. And I'm not saying this to scare any people, but be aware of your soul. Your soul is who you are, it's what animates your spirit to have a personality, be laughable, or to be a downer or something for others, or it's a lot of things that your soul animates your spirit, and it's individual. It's the only thing that makes you individual from everything, from the trees, the animals, from your brethren and your sisterin. I don't know if they say it like that, but everything that's alive, it's the only thing that separates you from that. Your soul is special. Your spirit, it's very special, because if you didn't have a body a body couldn't just live with the soul in it. No. It needs a spirit. It needs the spirit to live. So it's very important that you are not very easily influenced and start losing your soul. Only you can lose your soul. Nobody can sell your soul for you. Nobody can take your soul from you. But they have mechanisms put out here to try to do those exact things. And you can blame it on them, or you can blame it on those mechanisms. But ultimately, you had the choice to think in a certain way, to react in certain ways, to change in certain ways, to keep your soul for yourself. Now, we all connected. Like I said, we all spirit, everything. And these are things that I've learned on my journey to be who I am. I'm I'm not important or nothing, but I just think that there's a lot of people losing their souls because they don't listen to their own soul. They listen to whatever's on the TV that tells them how to react when a certain situation happens, or how their friends react, how where they live people react, things like this. But ultimately, we're connected spiritually, everything's spiritual. But your soul is yours, it's yours to keep. It's yours to lose. It's yours to give up. And that's a beautiful thing, that God gave us, is our soul. And it's different from animals, they don't have souls. You can't put a human soul in an animal. It just wouldn't be right. You can't put a human soul in an inanimate object, or if I'm saying that right, I'm probably not, but you can't do those type of things because there's rules to God. He's not going to defile any of his people. He won't defile them by ever having them in a car tire, for example, or in a piece of concrete, or in a rock. No. That's the love of God. He gave us respect. He respects us to choose the things that we choose. I'm not a religious person. I'm just spiritual. I know there's a God. I know there is a God. And I just know it. So those things are, special to us. And a lot of people, they don't think that we have those things. Oh, maybe we're spirit, mind, and body. And maybe our mind is our soul. And that's what we can control, our mind. And that's your soul. Don't sell your mind for something. You can listen to people talk and it sounds good, but if you can't pertain it to your life, or if it doesn't resonate to where you can put it there, you're just hearing it from a great person say these things, and you think that you have to change. No, it's a bad idea. A lot of people want you to sell their souls to them. Maybe you didn't sign a contract, but as soon as you start doing things that's against what your soul is telling, the contract is being written up and you're signing it. And so think of those things.